People will pass and I'll connect with them and they actually won't actively still be involved in their family's lives. In this case, he is still massively involved in his family's lives. And this is referencing to what would be his daughter, I'm thinking.
He had one daughter, Claudia Daniela.
How old was she when he passed?
3.
That was the baby. He was referencing him looking out for a baby, like a little one. The way this is coming in, they're referencing the geographical distance, and they're having me talk about a move. This is just important and good to know.
She just moved.
Because they're bringing this up. There's a very distinct reference of opportunity to go between 2 places. This is good to keep in mind as well. They're acknowledging around her taking the next step, that she's going to have the opportunity to do something. That would be something like a program, something official, something that one would do to learn more about something. I see this happening for her. I just don't think it's been done yet.
She's watching.
Oh, fabulous. That's nice, yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask my niece to come? She's the owner of the watch.
Please do. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
This was so fun.
Oh,
How are you? Oh my gosh, you look so similar.
She's mini-me.
Oh my God, it was so exciting to watch.
Oh,
See.
it's a lot to listen to. It's very intense.
The moon thing was perfect because she's been telling me all the time. She's like, you can do the best of both coasts. You can do Miami and LA back and forth. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Because it takes work, you know, to do both.
Absolutely. Do you ever feel your dad around in your life?
all the time.
Oh,
All the time.
good.
All the time, always.
Absolutely. It was amazing how strong he came through. And I just want you to know the best thing you can do to honor your dad is to do everything that you want to do, to live your passion, to live your truth, to go out there and do all these things. He's going to live through that, and he's going to be with you when you do these things, and you're never going to be alone.
I've never felt alone, ever.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Exactly.
Because she's always had a lot of people around.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
All the moms.
Yes, that helps.
All the moms.
Definitely.
It was special for Clary, I think, to be here because she loved Tyler.
Right. Well, it was so good to know. So glad you came.
I'm so happy I came.
And because she always wanted to hear something about her father so that she could feel a little bit closer with him since she doesn't remember him.
So I have this woman coming through, and she's identifying herself as a mother figure on dad's side, and she's coming through and acknowledging, kind of being like a mother figure to multiple people. And usually when they identify that, that's usually the way of acknowledging that they lived long enough to kind of have a maternal relationship with grandkids. And so for some reason, they're having me talk about the 3 kids. They're having me talk about 2 boys, 1 girl. They're kind of separating this in my mind, and they're circling one of the boys.
Okay.
And it keeps coming through, and they're like, that's the one I need to talk about. So do you have any siblings?
Yes.
Okay, what's the lineup there?
I'm the oldest, my sister's the middle child, and my brother's the youngest.
Nice, so then that would fit. She's bringing forward a very strong emphasis on like a J connection. I'm seeing a big J. So what was your grandmother's name?
Jessie, she was named after me.
Nice, fabulous, okay.
Or I was named after her, probably.
Right,
Now that I'm
one of the
thinking
two.
about it.
But gotcha, so she would be the J then.
Yes.
There's this feeling of like very special bond, very special connection. The feeling that I have to acknowledge this is you're special, and she keeps putting an emphasis on that, and that's you.
Okay. My relationship with my grandmother was very strong. She only had 1 son, so the 3 grandkids she had were the 3 grandkids she had, and I was the first. Everyone wants to be heard that they're favorite, but when Tyler tells you that you're the favorite, then you know it's true.
You're talking about Michelle Thomas.
Okay.
She was my old co-star from Family Matters.
Right.
And she died of stomach cancer. Quickly.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And she had a lot of friends. She had a lot of friends in the music industry. Come on, man, you gotta be Googling stuff, man. This is crazy, bro. Her birthday, September 23rd, 1968.
Wow. Wow.
So that's 2 days after the 21 you said.
All right.
You about to get me memed up on Instagram. Not that, Grandpa. All right. You almost hope sitting in that chair, that he's a hoax and that he's completely off base, and you can just play along for TV's sake. And then you start to realize, no, this guy is the truth, and he's mining your heart right now. And you don't know how you feel about it in the moment. And that's why it's just like, yo, just give me a quick second.
So there is an older woman who's coming through, and she is acknowledging that she feels she lived a full duration of life. She views you like a mother would view a daughter who experienced the fall. Someone had a fall before they passed. She's showing me a fall.
My grandmother fell many times and broke her femur.
Right.
One leg was bowed so severely that she could no longer put weight on it because it would just snap.
She did not want to be kept alive artificially, and like, do not keep me alive unless I'm doing it on my own. I don't want a breathing machine. She's doing this to me, which is always referencing to pulling something out. She talks about the incident where she pulled it out. Does that make sense to you?
At the end, she, right before she passed, she wasn't able to eat anything. Right. And so they had to put like a food tube down her throat, and she didn't want it.
Right.
And she kept trying to pull it out, and in order to feed her, they had to put it back in, but she kept pulling it off, and she would pull the oxygen mask off, and she kept saying she didn't want this anymore. She didn't want that stuff.
Yeah, and she didn't. And when she comes through, she's so relieved that she doesn't have to go through that anymore. And she's beautiful. I mean, she's just such, when she comes through so young and so beautiful. And that is how she wants to be remembered, truly.
My Grammy had so many health problems, but you would never know it. You know, she was just sweet, and she was just a huge support in my life. But to watch somebody that you love so much go through that was really hard, because you just want to take it away and make it all better, but there's no way to do that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. She's coming through and talking about the fact that you were special. Like, there's a connection of like, this is my girl. Like, this is special. She's acknowledging that she came through in a dream, and she's acknowledging this is actually a very like healing kind of an experience, because it was like, oh, you're there. What did she say in the dream?
I don't remember what she said in the dream, but I just remember her being there.
Yeah.
I remember her presence in the dream, and I remember waking up feeling like, oh, okay.
Right.
You know, it was better.
Right. No, there definitely are those connections that they make to us oftentimes. She comes across and acknowledges that she was just really heavily wanting you to be okay after she died. I do have to ask, there is a reference to a recovered alcoholic.
Oh, my.
And she's making a reference to it of showing a lot of pride about the recovered alcoholic. So who would that be?
Me?
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes, she's so proud of it, because she's talking about, I'm seeing symbols of recovery, and this is coming through, she's giving me the thumbs up with this, of like, I went through this very strong, difficult bout, and I got out of it, and that's awesome. So please know that that's her way of acknowledging that. She comes through just as this creative, amazing woman who I honestly feel could have, lived 20 more lifetimes. I mean, this woman is just intense and strong and very high energy in the way this connects.
Oh, his grandmother and Alan were so close.
I'm seeing a piano bench, and I'm sitting on the bench, and this woman is kind of putting sentimental or some form of significant value kind of around this. Do you know of anyone on your mom's side who played piano who would kind of fit that bill?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Would this be your maternal grandmother?
Yes.
Cool.
Isadora was her name, and we called her Izzy. Very strong personality.
Isadora was also the middle name we were thinking about naming Charlotte. So it would have been Charlotte Isadora Thicke in honor of his grandmother.
Izzy used to play piano in a theater in Northern Ontario for the silent movies.
Wow.
You killed that one.
Yeah, that's very cool. I love that.
Whoa, you crushed it. You know, Izzy always had a great sense of humor, and she was the sweetest, kindest, most wonderful soul to be nurtured by.
There is an acknowledgement immediately that I have to highlight of a reference to a marriage, and Grandma comes through and actually acknowledges an immense amount of pride around this marriage. But she feels from her perspective that she in life didn't get to see this happen. And basically acknowledging these congratulatory kind of feelings about a wedding.
Oh,
very sweet.
I would have loved to have had our grandparents at our wedding.
But I think that when she comes through, not only does she connect to you, but she connects to Tanya. And there is a special connection there.
This is so amazing.
He's not showing me the traditional situation where we're hospitalized, going to the hospital, die in the hospital with our loved ones around us. It's not that kind of thing. He wasn't particularly happy with the way that he was found. And that's
I
coming
wouldn't
through.
be. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Who would this be for you?
You're holding onto my dad's watch.
Oh, wow.
So he passed away. I believe he was wearing that watch, but he passed away alone in his home. We received a call in October from the police, but it was days after he passed away that he was found by virtue of newspapers collecting on the front of the house. He was very stubborn. I was kind of pissed at him, during this passage of time too, because of his stubbornness, because his health was clearly not in the place where he should be living alone.
Right. What he's showing is a commonality between yourself and himself. He acknowledges that he does have a lot of pride for you, and that's big. And I want you to know that he's incredibly proud of you.
But he's saying that now.
Yeah, he's acknowledging that. And it's interesting
because...
because...
Is there growth after death?
Absolutely, because the reason being is that he's acknowledging this was the reason, because it's something he never took accountability for in life.
Right.
This man that's coming through is full well acknowledging, I did not take accountability for things when I should have taken accountability for them in my life. And it's important for him to acknowledge on the other side that he does take accountability for it. He's acknowledging an apology for that distance.
Apology accepted.
Good.
This is all great stuff.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, it's all...
Good, okay, great.
I can sew all this together.
Yeah, cool, okay.
My relationship with my dad was very complicated. In every way, Tyler exposed how complicated it was. And that you can take responsibility from the other side is sort of a supercharged validation, because that's precisely what he wouldn't really do while he was here.